Due to the nature of this program, listener aggression is advised.
Created by the people, created for the people. No holds barred, no punches pulled, just honest brutality. I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking, but you don't ever talk about my band again. What's this honest brutality shit anyway?
Honest brutality.
Hey, this is Jimmy, and this is Seth. We're from Chasing Desolation, and you're listening to Honest Brutality.
Hey everybody, welcome to Honest Brutality. I'm your host, Evil, and I am joined by all of my co-hosts.
Yeah, this Big Sloppy.
And this is Cameron Rebel.
The Butcher.
And we have some very special guests on the line with us. Mm-hmm. We have some gentlemen from a band that I recently discovered called Chasing Desolation. We have Jimmy and Seth. Gentlemen, say hello.
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 How are you guys doing tonight?
We're swell.
Ooh, I like that. They're swell.
I'm sore because we did leg day yesterday.
Oh, shit.
That is so rad. That's my favorite day. I hate arms.
Yeah. His ass is really sore. Oh, but that's every day.
Oh.
We won't get into that, though.
I don't know what kind of conversation
Hey, man,
this
man's
is
got to
be.
make him living somehow. We'll leave it at that.
We gotta get at least 5 minutes into this thing before we start talking about that stuff. Hey, I'm comfortable.
Oh, there you go.
You guys are the founding members of Chasing Desolation.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you're West Coast, so that's pretty cool. A lot of people don't realize that because we're in the same state, we're in California, we're not necessarily neighbors. You guys are in the Los Angeles area, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, so it's about a 10 to 12 hour difference between us because we're way Northern California.
It's honestly easier to go to Oregon from here than it is to go to LA.
Right.
How north are you?
Are you familiar with Redding, California?
Yeah, sure.
Yep, that's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, originally we are from the Bay Area.
Oh, what part?
Right on.
What part?
Yes, like San Jose area.
Okay, South Bay.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. I grew up in Antioch. I know where you're talking about. Don't hold that against me, motherfucker.
Antioch's a nice place
to be from.
Yeah,
I digress.
I know he took us there once. It was awful.
It was scary.
Yeah. Anyway, so hey guys, let's take a minute because I'm sure a lot of our listeners are really not familiar with your band yet, but we're going to change that here going forward. Can you guys just give us a quick synopsis of your band, what you guys are all about, how long you've been together, and all that, and then we'll get into the deep, fun stuff. How's that?
Sounds good. Shoot. Long version, short version.
Your version, bro. We don't care.
It's your show.
Medium version. Yeah. So start from the beginning. Why not? Yeah. So
give it to us.
Let's see. I was like 12, and just playing in the garage with a few buddies. One night, we kind of came up with the name Chasing Desolation in my living room with my dad. Actually, we were trying to come up with names, and he suggested like Burnt Offering. We called ourselves that for a minute. And then he kind of made a joke. I think it was a Bad Company record or song called Desolation Angels.
Yeah, Desolation.
Like, oh yeah, just call your band that. And I was like, no, why don't we why don't we say like we're going after it? And then that's how Chasing Desolation came up.
Nice.
Real quick after that, through mutual friends, Seth joined as the drummer, actually. So he drummed with us, and we were just kids in school playing shows and fucking around, and that's kind of how it started, when we were early teens, and we were just playing shows in high school, and we knew we wanted to do this, like as a career, you could say, but we didn't really get serious with it until maybe a year or two ago, and we got the other guys in. So we kind of took a break from it while we were in high school. Seth went into other aspects of the music industry. He could tell you about that.
It was after high school, wasn't it?
It was like right after high school. And then I was doing some other bands, and we always knew we wanted to do this, but we wanted to get some experience with some other opportunities that we had when we were a little younger. So we did that, reconvened, added a few good gentlemen after that, and then here we are.
That's a great explanation of it.
Just for clarity's sake, you said you were 12, 13 when you got this thing going, and initially, and how old are you guys now?
24.
All right. Half your life you've had this band.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been playing music and writing music with Jimmy for at least 10 years, over 10 years. Right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
nice.
I have to say that totally makes sense because your guys' music is polished and it's solid and it is spot on and connected. Great word.
Yeah,
great word.
They feel like a team when you hear it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You guys have done all this work, and then there was a hiatus. What was the hiatus? What were you going after? What were you chasing?
Desolation.
Yeah.
Smart ass.
So cheesy.
It's so cheesy.
No.
He's always so cheesy.
Great answer.
From the
Well, after that, I had moved to LA, and I went to school for audio engineering for about a year and a half. And during the hiatus from Chasing, like Jimmy said, we both joined other projects and did other bands for, I don't know, a year or two, a couple years, but still always kept in contact because we're best buds.
right.
And I mean, that's what I was up to. I moved to LA, really. So I moved away, and he was still up in the Bay Area, and I was down here doing whatever I could with learning, because I always wanted to be able to be on the behind the scenes aspect of if we ever got the band back together.
I like that.
And so I knew how to record us or produce us or, whatever, just so we didn't get took.
Right. DIY.
It's fun to me. I like more than just writing music and playing on stage. I like the process of it.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
creating it in the studio and learning how, science behind everything and stuff. So I went off and did school for a little bit, and then I just stayed here and got a job at a studio and that sort of thing. So that's what I was up to, at least.
Yeah, and what kind of led to that was, throughout the years of high school and stuff, or like even really middle school through high school, Seth and I were there for the whole thing basically, and there was lots of the other kids like were in and out, and we kind of reached a point where we were like, there was a few of them who were out, and it was us who had stuck through. So we had a couple of opportunities to go, learn basically, and then reconvene. So he had done that. I joined another band that did some touring and was like signing to a label and stuff. So I wanted to do that and get some experience from that. And then it was a couple years later where we reconnected, started up again.
All right, so I have a question for you guys. Having been in middle school and high school doing the whole music thing, so did you guys ever take actually any formal music classes in middle school or high school, like band, choir, guitar class, whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so I want to know, because I am a 4-year high school band student, actually started in middle school. I want to know what your most brutal music teacher experiences is, because I'm sure you know as well as I do that music teachers are probably the most fucking brutal teachers of any public educator. What is the most brutal musical education experience you ever had?
You go first.
Okay.
Okay.
So I started playing in jazz band in middle school.
Oh shit.
Best thing ever. Actually comes into play with our writing and stuff, of course. But Mr. Anderson was our band teacher, and this jazz band was like fucking serious. We did like a lot of traveling, and No, I'm serious.
No, I'm laughing because I know that those jazz teachers are always that. They're hardcore.
Right.
Yeah. Lot of competitions and stuff. Right. And I don't know. It was like one of the top jazz bands or whatever that even means. But yeah, this dude was really fucking brutal. And like as a guitar player in a jazz band, of course, like I want to play solos and stuff, but I don't really want to practice like treble clef or any of that shit. So I think one day I don't remember exactly like verbatim, but I hadn't learned the piece or whatever, and obviously he took notice, and
they always
at
know.
One point I had like this really long hair. It was like down to my ass almost, and it was all one length, and it looked like shit, but it was pretty cool too. So his way of trying to incentivize me to learn that piece was by calling me Troll Boy in front of everybody.
Oh,
and it's funny. You guys laugh.
Okay, ha ha ha.
It's always funny afterwards. It's not funny in the moment.
You guys laugh.
Yeah, I know,
you laugh now.
But honestly, he was a teacher who'd kick you in the ass, and that's why his students became good, you know? So, that's like, awesome. Like, that jazz band was better than a high school jazz band I was in, you know?
I'm totally picturing that movie.
Whiplash. That was it. Yeah, you're on the same wavelength. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Such a great movie.
You know, it seems like it's over the top, but it's really exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
That was my middle school teacher. Because in middle school, I actually started... I mean, I played drums ever since I was 10. Is probably when I started.
Wow.
8 or 10. Not 9, though. But
that's awesome. Nicely done.
So I was like, my dad played saxophone. I just grew up around musicians, and my dad played saxophone in a band back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just play sax because that sounds more fun. So I played sax in middle school, and my middle school band teacher was totally the Whiplash guy. He had this giant plastic baton that he would keep time with, and he would click the bottom side of a metal music stand that had a hole in it. So he would hit it so hard at all times during any time we were playing, and he would throw, chalkboard erasers at the kids and yelling that they're playing out of key or whatever. And he was a drummer himself, but he was the best teacher ever. Like I never once was like, oh my God, this guy's scary, or I don't want his class. Like, I don't know.
Nah, same experience for me, dude.
Yeah, it was just like, this guy's like whipping kids into shape and like making them good musicians, and it was awesome. And it got me ready for high school. And when I got to high school, I switched back to drums, and I did drumline for all 4 years in marching band in high school, and that made me choppy. That brought my chops up like crazy and kind of made me the drummer I was.
Yeah. And you're probably slaying the ladies too, huh?
Yeah, it was the best, man.
One follow-up question now that you've mentioned drumline. Having been in band and in a drumline all throughout high school, how many times have you seen the movie Drumline?
Oh, plenty. And I like it. People are like, oh, it's so stupid. It's not the same. It's not like that. But yeah, I mean, I dig it. I'd watch it right now. I haven't seen it in a while.
See, that's the great attitude about it.
Well, it honestly, it's like when I watch Remember the Titans or like a really inspirational movie about sports. Like I didn't play football in high school, but every time I watch like Remember the Titans, I'm like, God, I want to play football right now so bad. So that whenever I watch,
I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean.
I miss playing. And it motivates me kind of. I like it.
Yeah.
So on the recent EP, Seth, did you record the drums or did somebody else record the drums?
Yeah. When we recorded I don't know. When we recorded like more than half of it, it was a while ago. So at that point, it was just Jimmy and I. And this was before I was like, I'm the singer now. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm drumming and then I'll just record the vocals to demo for whoever we find to sing, which obviously didn't happen. But yeah, I recorded the drums on the EP. Yes.
Wow. So for the listening audience, on the EP, it's you on the drums recorded and on the vocals.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. The drum chops are amazing and the vocals are amazing. Good job, sir.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that.
Which one of you was the one that split off, went to LA and went to school?
Seth.
That is what I thought. Yeah. So Seth, did you produce the EP?
I mean, no. I think that was collectively Jimmy and I.
Okay.
Jimmy does, in my opinion, more in terms of the songwriting and melody writing. It was also it's kind of hard because we were writing apart.
Right.
Because I was in LA most of the time and he was, home.
Long distance relationship.
So, oh yeah. Sometimes we would get together and write together.
It worked.
But yeah, the writing for the EP was unorthodox in that sense. And, I don't know what
yeah, I mean, Seth's involvement with, as far as like production goes, is after we, write a song, he engineers it, demos it, thinks of bells and whistles to add and stuff like that. He's really good with. So
I think we both equally, if anything, produced that. I mean, I like coming up with different elements that aren't necessarily your typical 5-piece instrument band stuff. Like he said, literally bells and whistles I'll put in somewhere if I hear it here or there, or sound design type of stuff, strings, piano, like that kind of thing is like, I like doing that a lot.
Right.
And it's just easier too if I have the equipment to like demo it on a laptop or, I also work at a studio too, so it's easier to kind of get in there and demo some things out and put ideas down.
Those extras that you guys add into there adds a very tasty flavor. So I have to say that collaboratively speaking, both of you guys nailed it.
Thank you. Cool. Yeah, it's
we
fun.
like to nail it.
Yes.
Hey,
keep on nailing it.
So, Seth, you work in a studio? Is that what I'm understanding here? You actually work in it?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Are you accessing some free studio time?
I don't know if we can talk about that.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
It's not a secret.
It's kind of
I work there,
Yeah, it's one of the perks of working there, right?
Definitely. Yeah, like pretty much all the piano and acoustic guitar on the EP was all recorded at the studio I work at.
Nice.
All real.
Hey, man, if you got a chance to get that stuff for free, you do it, especially when you're DIY, bro.
Totally. It's a huge opportunity that I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
To me, your music theory is very high.
Middle school band, yeah.
At least one of them was in a jazz band. This shit just happened.
Yeah. Mr. Anderson rocks.
Break it down for me. Your influences on this album.
Influences. Mostly a lot of alcohol and meth,
Come on.
No, man.
And I say, goddamn.
Other musical acts that influence your sound.
Not when you're writing
not
on
drugs.
No, I mean,
Jimmy Strimpel is my biggest influence.
Lately it's been TV shows and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think mine more so has been, or mostly is from movies, 80s movies, and TV shows.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
God damn it, the 80s keep getting brought up. Fucking get out of here, Sloppy.
I mean, it's eclectic. If we're talking about artists, it started for me with like Zeppelin and growing up with that shit playing on the radio,
Yeah.
listening to that with my dad. And then, when I started getting into the heavier stuff, it was like Slipknot, Avenged, bands like that.
Right.
Ditto.
And what? Oh, ditto. Just across the board.
Wait,
Come on, you have a different flavor to throw
did
in
Seth
there.
just say ditto?
He did. No ditto.
Yeah.
No one-word answers. Did we not explain this rule?
No.
Actually, we did.
I was starting to carry on with it.
Oh,
In
God.
terms of the music we're writing in the band, yeah, like that's, I would say the same thing. But general influences, like I grew up more with like funk stuff from my parents and oldies from my grandparents.
Oh, I love
it. Obviously, I love all classic rock and the newer bands when I was in high school. But even more so on the like pop punk stuff. Like I loved Blink-182 and Green Day, and like that was cool when I was in high school. And that's like the kind of influence, like the punky kind of stuff from Travis Barker type of things that when I was doing drums, would try to incorporate into, certain fills or whatever I would think of. And then, I was introduced to events, and that's all she wrote basically for that.
Okay. So let me come clean. Okay. So City of Evil is probably one of the all-time best albums ever written, ever produced, ever recorded, in my opinion. And Jimmy Sullivan is one of the best drummers ever to live.
I think I'm in love.
Oh my God. Who put this all together? I mean, did you guys have a lot of help, or did you just decide this is what we're doing?
Dude, we decided this is what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, we had been writing those songs, again, while we were on the hiatus, and some of them were kind of pre-written when we were in high school, and then we kind of retouched them because some years had gone by. So some of this stuff had been in the works for a while, or left alone for a while, and then, we addressed it again later. And when we could, we'd meet up, we'd spice things up, or, shorten some shit or whatever. And, we figured it out, and we just recorded it. I don't know. That's it, really.
Like father, like son.
Yeah.
Break that down for me.
I don't know. I just used to drink a lot of vodka, and that's what that's about. Well, and IPAs.
And
well, IPAs are the best beer.
Did you drink the vodka before the beer, or the beer before the vodka?
Doesn't matter as long as you're hydrated.
I don't know. I just put it in a blender all together with some pineapple and
awesome.
Little salt.
So where did the inspiration come from the song?
No, I mean that's kind of like my life growing up. Really, I got told that a lot. Like father, like son.
Mm-hmm.
My dad and I, we like our beer, and whatever else. And, I mean, at the time when I was writing those lyrics and writing that song, I was trying to get sober, and, I wasn't very successful.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what that's about, I just kind of got told that a lot, and I mean, I've been sober for 2 years now.
Congratulations.
But yeah, thanks. So it's just really battling that shit. We don't need to get too deep into it, but drinking and other stuff wasn't working out for me. That's what that song's about, and it's in my family. So
Jimmy, that's your song. Lyrically, you put that together. Jimmy, are you writing all the lyrics? Seth, are you writing in conjunction with? Because your guys' lyrics are set apart from others that we've heard. They're very catchy.
Yeah.
They're very hooky. They're very relatable.
I wrote a lot of Malice's lyrics, but honestly, lyrics scare the shit out of me, and I don't feel like I'm very good at writing lyrics.
And
so
this is Seth talking right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Seth. So yeah, plus that also kind of had to do with when we were recording that song, it wasn't finished being written, and at the time for recording vocals, Jimmy wasn't there. So in a way, I kind of was like, oh shit, now I got to finish the song and write all the lyrics to it. But I want to write more lyrics. I just kind of shy away from it, and it's harder for me. So I like to let Jimmy take the reins on that.
So,
and if I come up with something, I'll I'll try to chime in, but it's,
yeah, I mean, how it's been working lately is, sometimes lyrics come before the music. Sometimes music comes first. It's a little different each time. But whenever lyrics, I'll try to come up with a good portion of the lyrics, or Seth will have like a vocal melody with some scratch lyrics, which inspire me to come up with the real lyrics. And then at the end, 3/5 of the band have a hand in it even, so Seth will chime in once there's some kind of backbone, Seth will chime in, and Austin, our bass player, because he's so grammatically correct and shit.
Nice.
Which is nice, he went to college. He's like,
hey, I went to college.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Hey,
He
Seth.
didn't go to college.
Seth, I got to chime in here, bud. As a vocalist myself, I always like to write my own lyrics because I always wanted to be in tune. And we preach this a lot on our podcast. There's a lot of bands out there that they throw lyrics together, they throw something up against the wall, see what sticks. But my thing is, if you don't believe what you're singing, if you don't make me believe what you're singing, we're not going to...
Right, we're not going to
connect,
listeners.
okay? And I'm not going to get anything out of
sure.
it. So my hat is off to you because you're telling me you're not writing all these lyrics, but you're singing it with the passion as if you did, and then as if it means something to you. So that's pretty inspirational because as a or not necessarily a lyricist, I wasn't a good lyricist, but I like to write my own because I believed in what I was writing, and it helped me to compel that to the audience when I was singing. And I'm hearing that in your vocals. And to hear that you're not actually writing the lyrics really surprises me. And my hat is sincerely off to you because you're pulling that off as if it's your song.
It's
you know
believable.
what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
again, he does have a hand in the lyrics. But for the ones that he didn't, like Seth knows my story. We've been friends forever.
Jimmy's my brother, and I love him to death, and I've been with him through things. So maybe that's what helps me.
So it is your story.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
It
it's
is
his, but
your
I was walking alongside for it.
Right.
See,
So
well, that makes a lot of sense.
Definitely
man.
still feel things that, what he goes through, it rubs off. I'm around him. I feel it. And that,
Well,
to get sappy.
well,
Like
that's fine.
That's what it is, really.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's
Rub
great.
off on him. Yeah.
Are you guys ready for some serious shit? Are you ready for the big time?
I like to think that we're ready for whatever comes. Every guy in the group has a good head on their shoulders, and we all have the same goal. We all know what each other's expectations are. And I think that's what is really going to help us with whatever comes our way,
So let's ask it. What are you guys doing? What are you doing right now to advance your band? Other than, talking with our sexy voices on the radio, of course.
Speak for myself.
It's a good thing you have a sexy
What
voice.
are you guys playing a lot of shows right now? You looking to get out on the road? What are the plans here going forward in this summer? I mean, you got the EP, you got to push it, right?
Yeah, totally. Touring is something that we want to do as soon as we can. It's needless to say, it's something we're looking into currently.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is set in stone. However, there's a couple of little leads and stuff. And, that would be the next big thing. If we can't do that immediately, we're just hitting other regions,
We're still writing anyways. We have a couple new songs that we're working on and kind of recording.
Oh.
So at least we're being productive in really what we do. We're to make music.
Right.
You got to hit it from all angles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to hit social media.
Yeah.
So you need content. We're working on new content, new videos constantly, networking, new team members. We're not on a label.
Right.
That's not necessarily, we kind of touched on this for a second, Eric. It's not like totally our goal to get signed to a label right away. There's a lot you can do by yourselves if you kind of know how.
Absolutely.
That's just the way that this world works today, and it's always changing, and you just got to change with it.
What is your perception of how the music industry can improve going forward?
how can the music industry improve going forward?
I don't think you can. I don't know.
There's always room for improvement, my friends.
I would say, well,
Destroy the internet. I just think the industry is saturated.
Agreed.
totally.
Yeah.
Well, we know that.
Many people that have the opportunity to show off what they do. And I don't know, that might sound like mean, but I just feel like before the internet, if you were really good, you poked through because of that, and not because you had $5,000 to put into advertising on Facebook so people could see
that's
you.
interesting.
So that's, I mean, I don't want to get too deep because I'll start saying bad and mean things, but that's
No.
that's like the overall gist of what.
No, that's interesting.
The way I
That's
feel
interesting.
about it.
So, I mean, the way it is today is a band can, record a song, shoot a video for it, give a marketing company $80,000 and say, here's where I want to be a year from now, or here's what I want to achieve. And more or less, it can be achieved just like that. Not saying that it's going to be everlasting or something that's, deemed dope, but,
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think it is cool at the same, on another hand, it is cool that everybody can have their shit heard. It's really cool because a lot of bands get stuck in the garage and end in the garage. They start and end there. And, but yeah, it's just, the culture is different today. The way people are like sharing things, and I guess it is still grassroots in a way. It's just online.
It did you some good, right?
It did. It sure did. And it's just the world that we live in today, and you can either fucking hate it or you can get on board and utilize it and appreciate it. I mean, yes, like everybody gets hurt and anybody can pay for whatever, to be seen. It doesn't mean that you're going to be, you're not going to necessarily be successful. And if you are, it's for 15 minutes if you're not good.
Right.
So,
right.
It's still, it's really the same as it was back in the day. I think there are some aspects with the internet that do make it harder, and some aspects that make it easier. It has its pros and cons.
Well, back in the day, they paid to play, man. I mean, they paid to play. They paid the radio stations to play them. They paid to be at those venues. It's not much different, really. You're right.
Yeah.
And there was money back then, though. The bands, at least that was signed, had millions to spend.
Well,
on it. Now
yeah,
it's like
because the record industry dictated who we got to see and who we got to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a different animal.
Totally. I mean, at one point, what played on the radio, that was it.
It's very true. Now,
Right.
let me give you the old whippersnapper version here, because I grew up in the 80s, buddy. And it was...
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to go to a record store and go through an entire collection of albums, and I mean albums, vinyl albums, and look at the covers and dictate whether I was going to buy a new band based upon the cover strictly, not knowing what they sound like or anything. And there
That's
was
awesome.
there were some damn good bands, but I'm going to tell you, I wasted a lot of money on a lot of albums just because the cover art was good.
I mowed a lot of lawns for suck, dude.
I lost my ass on a lot, but I did discover a lot of bands that were never heard on the radio. And I'm here to tell you that if some of these bands had the exposure they have today, probably would have broke, and they would have had that opportunity. So I see where you're at, because I understand to some degree the frustration that comes along with the internet and all the bullshit that comes along with it. I do get that, believe me. But I do see the other side of it as well, whereas it is really a plus for a lot of bands that will never, ever get the exposure.
Yeah, I'm warming up to it. I mean, I'll still be like, bah humbug. But
You're such an old soul.
It's good. I know it's good.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, so, people aren't really buying music as much now.
No, I get they're stealing music. I get that. Believe me, I get that.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. And
the diehards will still buy music, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
But yeah, the 40 are just going to listen, or what on YouTube or Spotify or whatever.
If you love it enough, you will support it.
Yeah.
And if there's something worth loving and worth supporting, people are gonna support that no matter what.
But, you know, I mean, as long as people still like to go out to a show, you know, come out to a show, pick up a shirt or something, you know, like, people still do that.
We do.
Well, you guys are awesome.
Well, you know it.
Come play a show and ready.
That's what we were trying to make you understand. We are awesome. Good. Now we got this right.
Yeah. So now that
Established.
we've established this.
Dude, we're awesome. All of us are awesome.
We're all awesome.
Everything is awesome.
All metal is awesome. Well, for the most part. There are those that aren't so awesome, but
So I'm going to break in here and I'm going to go way back to the whole oversaturated thing because I've been chopping at the bit ever since you said that. You're right. The market is oversaturated. But myself and Big Sloppy, like Evil said, there's a one-off instance where he runs into bands because myself and Big Sloppy are the music hunters, so to speak. And it is oversaturated, but it takes people like Sloppy and myself. Yes, I am tooting our horn. Toot toot. We go through so many bands. We go through so many YouTube. We go through so many reverb, and we are constantly 200 a week. The point is, guys, that there is a lot of talent out there and we hear it. And there's a lot of talent that needs to be worked on. And there's a lot of talent that is refined and polished. And we bring the best of the best to our show. And had it not been for the internet, we would have not gotten to you guys. And you are a gold nugget to us because we really believe in what you're doing. So I get what you're saying, grassroots, but please also notice that even though the market is saturated, there are people like us who are looking for you, and we're going to find you.
We go find the cream, brother.
Well, I think you're changing our perspective.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. I get it because
Mine's the one that needs the most changing, and it's working.
So by needing the most changing, is yours the most pessimistic, probably?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let me indulge that a little bit as the resident millennial. Looking back on the golden age of the 80s, early 90s, and even early 2000s, where record labels mined the gold nuggets for you, nowadays, with the internet being so prevalent and everybody knowing at least someone how to use it, we'll teach you, Sloppy, don't worry.
Shut up, motherfucker.
he's the oldest one of
So,
us all.
to me,
You're welcome.
being the person who knows how to go through the internet for the most part, actually, I think Evil's a little better, but the internet's, for the most part, a giant cesspool. And so, now anybody can dump whatever shit they want into this cesspool. Now, it takes a really strong, poignant motherfucker to throw on the elbow-high gloves and reach into that cesspool for the golden nuggets. And I have to say, you guys are one of those golden nuggets pulled out of that cesspool.
Dude, thanks for finding us, man. It was bad in there.
So guys,
It really is. If you've ever dunked through the internet, you know how bad of a cesspool the internet can actually be.
That's bad joke.
No, that was funny. That was funny.
shit.
It took me a second, but it's good.
So now that you guys are out of the cesspool, and I don't like to ask canned questions, but I have to with you because I just feel like I really want to know what you guys envision for your future. Tell me what tell me about your future, what you guys see, what you guys are doing. Tell me all the great things because it's badass in my mind and I want to hear it from you.
Download Festival.
Really?
Oh,
Nice.
you're speaking Sloppy's language.
There you go.
Ooh.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, ideally, where would we like to be?
That's where I want to
Is
go.
that part of the
Yes.
question?
Tell me where you'd like to be and tell me what you guys have planned. Do you guys have any upcoming shows? Let's punch you. Let's get you guys out there. Let's spread you around.
Near future. Okay.
Oh,
Near and far.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking far, you know what I think would be really cool is if we were able to start our own label.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
I like that. Thank you.
I don't know. I mean, just with the way that the music industry is, I think
It's hard to
you got to adapt and be innovative, you know. So, and I think
And that you
whether
are.
it is, I hope, you know, whether it is starting your own label or, I mean, see, the thing is, like, say if we built our own team, and it wasn't under a label necessarily, but we had all the proper people that a label would supply. You know, even if you do that and you're a legitimate artist and you have a fan base, there's certain, you know, publications or certain things that won't have you just because you're not legitimized by being on a label.
I get it.
So how do you combat that? You know, you can maybe start your own, or you could look into other options. But I mean, yeah. So the thing with the label is it's tough. It's you know, like I said, it's not really our goal, but at the same time, a good deal can, you know, it's tough, and a good deal can help you get some places quicker. You know, so.
It can. I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know if Evil talked to you about this behind the scenes or not, but we spoke to a gentleman named Eric July of a band called Backwards. And what they did was really unique.
It was very cool.
Is they entered into a partnership with a record label, Franz from Attila, his label, just for distribution. They own all the rights to their music. They own everything. They just have a partnership with those guys to get their music out there and to kick down the doors they couldn't do on their own.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a genius idea.
Totally.
Brilliant setup, and it worked for them. They came through the door. They were top 10 on all the different charts, man, like 6, 7 different charts. They just blew it up. And it was all DIY like you guys, but they laid out the foundation, and then they just entered into a partnership, and it was, I don't know why more people aren't doing that. I thought it was fantastic.
It was a beautiful idea.
Yep.
Just put it in perspective, they dropped their album the exact same day that Mastodon dropped Emperor of Sand, and they still charted with Mastodon.
Wow. Very cool. Yeah.
So it can be done.
Yes,
So-
it can be done.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that, like that's a good move. But yeah, you gotta stay on your toes, and I think really, so that would be far in the future. Near future, what we're focused on is just getting people to hear our shit, building the brand. You know, that's really, you know, trying to fine tune our craft and figure out exactly who we are. You know.
Let's delve into the far future just a little bit, because I think you guys are the second band to mention Download Festival as a goal on our podcast.
Actually, it's third band because the other two made it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, third. I wasn't aware of the 2nd one, but as a word of encouragement, any band that has mentioned Download Festival in a conversation with us has eventually made it to Download Festival.
Yep.
So
All right,
you
here
guys
we
are
go.
you guys are the third band to mention that.
Only
so
you're from America, they weren't.
now, as much as I hate,
What makes you guys say download of all things? Because you guys, in your own area, you have
Right.
the
There's a
Ozfest.
ton.
I don't know. It's
Nutfest.
just a huge festival.
Right.
That a lot of bands that I've listened to throughout life have played and headlined, and it's just huge.
See, you're speaking to
And
me,
there's
man.
nothing like that here, I don't think.
You know, like we're fans of music,
Mhm.
and if you know, if like the bands that we think that are fucking cool play Download, like that's what we want to do too.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works. You know.
No, I dig it, man. I've been wanting to go to Download since I was 13, and we're going. My son turns 18 in 2 years, and we are going. It's happening.
Yeah.
You are a good dad.
Damn
Maybe
right I am.
hopefully
Hey guys, talking about fans of the bands. So what are you guys listening to? What do you have on your phones?
Oh, God.
Oh, I wanted to bring this up. I really like Electric Light Orchestra. That's also a big influence.
That's random.
Yeah, no, I forgot to mention it when we were talking about influences.
Oh.
You know, like I just love how they go into a lot of different moods and feels in their music, and it's very theatrical. And
That
and
is
and
the
Queen.
first. Queen, we've heard. ELO is the first time we've heard that on this show. Jeff Lynne and the boys being mentioned on Honest Brutality.
Yeah,
We might be young, but we have some history.
I dig it, man.
Jeff Lynne. I mean, that's you know, you may not really hear it directly in our music, but it's in there. You know.
So if I get in your car right now, we're going to go to the gas station. I get in your car. What is on your radio?
Lately, it's been 90s rock.
Really?
I don't have a car.
When you hop on your bike and you put your earphones in, what
You
am I
ride
listening to? Oh,
Yeah.
what kind of motorcycle do you ride?
Oh, he was lying. I don't ride a motorcycle.
He's saying that he doesn't. He's embarrassed about it.
Tell me about
Because
it.
It's a moped?
Well-
No, we get it.
No, it has a dildo on the seat.
Is it hot pink? Not the dildo. Not the dildo, but the moped.
Yeah, no, I mean, it helps him stay on the bike, though.
Oh,
Right. I have one of those too.
gross. You're both gross.
I went too far
Well,
there,
right.
camera.
Well, you two are like sisters.
We are sisters. We are sisters. I'm an only child. I've always wanted a sister.
Oh my god!
Holy shit.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Enough of that.
Amazing.
What are you, uncomfortable?
Yeah. What would play? I don't know. Probably Stone Temple Pilots.
Nice.
You know.
Jimmy listens to music more than I do, to be honest.
I listen to a lot of podcasts myself.
Like what?
True crime.
Oh, I love crime stuff.
I am too.
I'm always watching that shit.
Dude, we were watching this show called Under Arrest.
Oh, hell yeah.
Have you
I've
seen
never
that? It's like
seen
the
it, no.
It's the Canada version of Cops. And
Really?
it's so funny.
So much better than pop.
Yeah, it's like Cops on crack. It's way better.
It's way better.
Way
You
and
know-
they're like just the way they say things is really cool.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Fucking guy called me a goof, so I punched him.
I have to tell you guys, it's really funny because I listen to so many true crime podcasts that my boyfriend either thinks that I really dig the shit or I'm looking for the perfect murder.
Well, that's why you can tell that I wrote the lyrics in Malice.
Bam.
'Cause
There's.
that's
Thank
what
you.
it's about.
Yeah.
And that's like all I'm watching on TV, like forensic shit and
It's just
detective
fascinating.
shows.
It's fascinating how the mind can just like I fancy myself a normal person, but people who have mental issues and just like lose their shit and can do that and not feel anything is just fascinating to me. So
Oh, yeah.
thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah. That is stuff that we like to write about. Mental illness,
It's out there.
Killing, blood.
hate, and killing people, and it's because we feel that stuff.
Right?
And everybody does, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and instead of going out and killing somebody, maybe a better alternative would be to put it on paper and movie and write some lyrics and put it into a song. You know, so that's the idea. Because some people
Or
have
cut your
mentioned,
ear
like,
off and paint a picture,
Yeah,
Sure.
right?
It's been done.
some people have asked us, they're like, why are you guys writing about killing people and stuff? And it really is, that's a release instead of like, would you rather have me just kill you? No, I'll write a song about it instead, you know?
Right. Let the record show I've never actually felt the urge to kill anyone. And I'm like, oh, damn. I wanna
That's
kill
what all killers say.
Oh, really?
I haven't been
Really?
caught yet. So.
No.
I have never harmed an animal.
Is there anything we didn't ask you that you wanted us to?
Our height.
How
Yeah.
tall are you?
Yeah.
You also didn't ask us our sexual orientation.
Yeah.
That's none of our
Don't ask,
business,
don't tell.
sir. None of our business.
That's a shut up poured for myself. Thank
then
you.
didn't. Then you asked everything.
Oh,
You
good.
guys are good.
Good. That's what we do.
All right, for the listening audience, how do they find you? How do they download your music? And how do they contact you to play a show?
Oh yes, chasingdesolation.com. New album Malice is out. You can get it there. iTunes, Spotify. Our stuff's on YouTube. Check us out. Facebook, Chasing Desolation. Instagram is Chasing Desolation. Am I leaving anything out, Seth?
No, just give us a like and talk to us.
Give us a holler.
Yeah.
We like to communicate with humans.
Yeah.
What about aliens?
Not robots.
Overrated.
Do you like to communicate with aliens?
If they're out there, sure.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
That would be really
We will
cool. That would be
send-
more interesting than talking to any human.
We will send them your way.
Hey, guys, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thank you
man.
for having us. It's been fun.
You are very welcome.
This has been Honest Brutality. Check us out on all our socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can check us out over at honestbrutality.com. All things Honest Brutality all the time. If you go over there, you can also find our times for our Rock Rage radio shows. Come on over and check us out. We do respectively have shows at this point in time on Saturdays and Tuesday. In the meantime, be good people, take care of one another, and most importantly, stay metal!
Stay metal.
Don't
Thank